Hang on tight, this is going to be a wild one. Greetings from me, you're watching WromWrom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing and a regular news roundup of weekly sim racing news. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe and even more, our patrons. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. Yes, no sooner do I openly muse about the end of sim racing and the lack of news that we get hit with a long list of things to talk about. Seems Sister Fate is always waiting for me to say something about the news, so as to make me spend the weekend writing, recording and producing these videos, because we got Raceroom, Rennsport, Le Mans Ultimate, Assetto Corsa Evo, the truck simulators and BeamNG to talk about, not to speak of the big amount of short news we got on top of that all. Well, I won't keep you waiting. Start your engines! On Tuesday 24th, Raceroom will bring new content out. You will be able to drive the Alfa Romeo 156 and the Opel Vectra, both cars from the 1990s, both built to super touring specs. Also, they bring the lesser known Ring, again a track mostly known for touring races. One special thing about the track is that it's based on data collected by a private club in the city of Singen, where the Ring was situated, who gladly dumped a vast amount of information on KW Studios. Nice. And a more modern car, the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo 2, will be added to the GTR3 class. For September, they teased their beta rendering engine in line with a long-time update of the graphics in all possible ways, a redesign of the ranked multiplayer UI and the Lamborghini SC63, the BMW M Hybrid V8 and Porsche 963 hypercars. One thing they don't talk about? Drifting. Seems the drift content didn't sell so well, but it's been difficult to get information out of them, and we've tried for months. Moving on, Raceroom also deployed an update this week with changes in the suspension of the DTM Class 1 cars based on real-life data. Also, they did some passes on the aerodynamics. What they expressly didn't change is that the cars all drive as if they would be equal, so that you can take any car of any period between 2013 and 2016 and race against the others. In reality, these cars got faster and had more downforce every season, reaching speeds at the level of Formula 1 cars in their last years. By the way, these changes mean your old setups are now obsolete. Sorry to say. The KTM Crossbow RR has been built from scratch as KW Studios decided to not reuse any old code from the older crossbows, including the RR. In line with a real-life car, this one is prone to lose the rear end, so be careful in any maneuver, including the dreaded lift oversteer. They also tapped into the wealth of information KW has collected over decades about suspension and have worked extensively on tuning the behavior of dampers all around. Going into the details of this update, the default gear ratio of all cars on all tracks has been changed, the dampers on a big number of cars have been tuned, as well as many as suspension behavior, which will for sure change the car behavior in many ways. Sometimes with small changes, sometimes with big ones. You may have to relearn your car. Also, many of the cars got updated brake disc composition and therefore changes in their behavior. Also, the tire heating curves have been adjusted in all the Formula open wheelers Raceroom has to offer. Another thing that changed in a lot of series and classes has been the AI, but Raceroom offer no details about what exactly has changed there. Rennsport is at last introducing open setups, a very much wished for feature. Seems that they didn't want to release the feature until the full version of the sim, but after the community was clamoring for it, and maybe before they got the pitchforks out, they decided to release it with the update last week. Open setups will be available in single player and time trial modes, but only in some multiplayer contests, and you can't change everything yet, as they are still fine-tuning the settings and don't want you to end up messing up the setup of your car. Some examples of things you can't yet change include gearing, tire compound and brake pressure. More setup features will be available in the future. Also, any changes in the setup get wiped out whenever you start a free session. What are we, in the 1990s where you have to write all things by hand? What a strange decision that is. They have done a ton of improvements with regards to sounds, like a complete rework of the Mercedes AMG GT3 sounds or the tires, among many other changes and tweaks. TC and ABS have been updated and grass and gravel have less grip. Cars which jump the start in rolling start will be disqualified and player reporting has been expanded. Added to that, a new league points system has been implemented. Lastly, you will be able to drive the Nordschleife for free until the 25th of June, because no other sim has that. Simocube have released a new version of their tuner software which now supports Euro Truck Simulator 2, American Truck Simulator and F1 2025 telemetry, supports the G-force effect in iRacing and has vehicle detection and therefore automatic profile switching support for Richard Burns Rally. It also brings better fine-tuned behavior for the active pedals, and you can now add or remove control points to their force curve. Apart from that, some tweaks and fixes have been done to the link up, the support of wireless wheels and the Simocube 2 bases. iRacing had a small patch to Season 3, now having AI deal with gravel and mud better. You could say they're much better at it. Connection black flag rules can be used in hosted sessions and fixing some graphics issues. Also, they did some varied twiddling on cars and tracks. Following what Simocube and Asha Racing started, Fanatec is now selling refurbished gear at lower prices that they certify and give a 2-year warranty on. Automobilista 2 will bring the Aston Martin Valkyrie along with a lot of other Aston Martin content into the sim over the next months? Years? They don't clearly say. Those at the 24 Hours of Spa will be able to drive an exclusive preview of Assetto Corsa Evo 0.3 because fuck you all early access buyers and your money, you are worthless to Kunos. While this has not directly to do with sim racing, many of you, we suppose, use Nexus mods to mod sims and many games. Robin Scott, founder of the site, is selling the complete site and business to new owners he presented via their usernames, who he says get the modding community. The new owners say they won't change much on the site. Being a member will still be free and the mods will be still owned by their makers. Changes in the latter might very much infringe EU copyright laws, by the way. Now, whatever of these will or will not be the case in the future, well, our crystal ball is out for its regular inspections, so we can't say. Euro and American truck simulators are moving into a 1.55 open beta phase, with an expansion of the driving academy called Truck Driving Proficiency with more difficult scenarios. Also, loading time should get better through asynchronous loading, something the LMU devs could learn to implement, not to speak of the Dune Awakening devs. On the map, you will now have an option to recenter it around your location. Also, the mail interface has been redesigned. Moving on to Euro-specific content, they improved the FH tuning DLC, adding the Volvo FH Series 6 to it. Continuing with DLCs, but now talking about places, 21 cities of the Vive la France DLC now have custom city intros. On the American side of the truck simulators, the 5th generation Cascadia got a big update, and anything that allows you to customize the truck. The Kenworth T680 also got an update, including 3 cab variants. The Farm Machinery DLC got a new cargo, the Windrower or Windrower or whatever it's called, and Flow Below parts can now be painted in different colors. And parallel to Eurotrack, the New Mexico DLC got custom city intros for 4 cities. BeamNG released what they call the Summertime Shakeup, which is their semi-regular big summer update. Based on the Gabriel MD, the sim now brings a school bus and an armored truck, all with specific loads, gadgets and features. The Ibishum Miramar got a refresh with 2 body variants, as did the Burnside with many body variants and liveries. You will also find new missions in the game, with police chases putting you in the pace of either the chaser or the chased, or doing some wreckfest-ish racing. Moving away from content, the main menu has been divided in 2 parts, the first one being anything that helps you get a quick start, the other all other settings and content. You can reconfigure the radial menu, and of course there's been a ton and a half of updates, which any other time in a shorter video we'd be talking about. Check out the complete list through the link at the description of this video. If you like what you see, how about supporting us? A like and a comment to tell the almighty algorithm we are worth watching are a good start. Subscribing is even better, and what really helps us grow is you becoming a patron, as YouTube's income is tiny for a sim racing channels. Patrons get access to exclusive content and are involved in our decision. Help us grow with your support. Help us keep spreading the joy of sim racing. Become a patron today. Still in early access, Le Mans Ultimate dropped a patch to their 5th release. Now it won't be showing wrong track name and map when using an alternative layout of a track. The co-op page should now show an error pop-up when there are no events anymore, and, still in co-op, the end session button should work now. If you are using a custom livery, you should be able to choose fixed setups once again, and the sim should not crash on shutdown anymore. It also should not crash processing chat messages and retrieving lap times. Opening game saves should not bring a crash, and neither should it do so when starting the sim with a custom resolution. Also, if you're in a multiplayer session with fixed setups, the game won't allow you to change yours now. The sim won't disconnect you anymore on session change, cars should become visible to others when rejoining the server, and the devs hope you won't ever find yourself with no vehicle when joining an online event and thus not being able to race. And you should never more receive 100% worn tires when in an event with unlimited tires. Lusail and Lassard got some graphic updates, as did many of the cars. Default setups were updated in many of them too, and all LMGT3s had the fuel ratios reviewed. If I look at the amount and type of bugs, I'm not sure if the sim is really ready for a full release, truth to be told.